It is Saturday on Raid Shadow Legends, but you knew that. Now, it's that time of month again where there is free re-gear on for 4 days in total, and for many like myself or anyone else who is not hilariously overprepared in terms of having everything at plus 4 6-star mythical, some do, I don't, you probably don't either. If you do, good for you. We are pushing Soulcross, and this is stage 20. Last time around, you were only allowed Blue Affinity, Rares, and Epics, I believe. I could be wrong. Correct me if that's the case. But this time around, you are allowed Force Affinities from Lizardmen, Skinwalkers, and the Shadowkin, and that includes Legendaries and Mythicals, which is obviously easier in that way because you're allowed to use better champions. But Force Affinity is also the best, I would say, for this because most enemies are blue or red, and the only green is the Snake Track here, who took far too long to take down. Now, while most people would use Harima or the Skinwalker's mythical Galleus Bloodcrest in terms of overwhelming these stages, the other 4 champions are all ones that have been guaranteed available at some point. Raz and Scarhide, you have to fuse whether you like it or not. Pythian was a fusion, Mighty Yuko was, and Lady Mikage you will eventually get once you amass all the epics. But as someone who doesn't have Harima or Galleus, I explored a different option, which was born of the fact that at some point I got a 6-star Sachi soul. Now, Sachi is a Shadowkin, so she will join in with Mikage's A1 over anyone else on my team. And her A1 is AoE, which obviously, as you can see, against double Grazer is not the best because his passive means that everyone ends up on higher HP than they were before. But she does have a single target A1 and A2, and when free V-gear means that I can put all my best gear on champions for the task, then she's actually capable of dealing with this somewhat, especially combined with how I've got Yuko in stun set, who is also in some damage. Lady Mikage has, her AoE stun on a 3-turn cooldown that cuts turn meter, and Razin has his full turn meter penalty on a 6-turn cooldown. Obviously, he's a bit of an old champion nowadays, but he still does have his uses. Since mainly with this wave, you have to stop them to do anything at all, otherwise Koragar will cleanse and then start healing everyone to fall in himself. Grazer will CC your entire team with Rogue every single turn and also place increased resistance on everyone. Although obviously Lady Mikage again can strip all those buffs off because her A3 in alt form self-buffs accuracy for doing that. And then Gerbtuk and Togron will just do miscellaneous healing, but Togron does scale HP, so that can cause an issue. So obviously, as you can tell with this, I've managed to get my way through it by just perma-controlling everything, which obviously is a lot easier this time around than last wave, but for a lot of people who would be having a bad memory of this last time around and so they didn't have Harima or Galleus, then, well, if you have pulled a decent Sachi soul at some point, then do go with her, because mine is at 6-star, but I think even at 4 or 2 you can probably manage. It's just going to be a little bit more awkward. And the last wave, obviously there's no Grazers here to undo most of my Sachi A1 damage, so I can just unload onto them. Now UDK will block single target hits like the Razin A2 I just used, but apart from that, then once the city goes down, so does everyone else. And besides, when Rotos is Blue Affinity against these, that happens. Against Blue Affinity Epics, who are unable to use attacks, then he's probably going to kill them there, especially when that self-cleanse is a lot harder to remove because the city is going to live for a lot longer. Because like last time around, you'd have to use like Allah's A3, which could hit very hard, but UDK would absorb it and it could weak hit. So there's not really much more left to this now, and once I'm done I will show you my builds. I just post this elsewhere for a second at first because I wasn't too sure this was going to work. In terms of Sachi's blessing, I probably should have used Crushing Rend if I was at 6 star, but below 6 star then just use Cruelty to cut their defense stats because it's probably going to add up. And as for my builds, Lady Mikage is in the same she always is in terms of live arena. I didn't change anything there. Sachi is in Baron's gear to give as much damage as possible. And who's next? Pythian is again unchanged from live arena, stone skin, whatever. He was fine as is, no real changes needed there. Razin was in Mariah's gear to give him as much damage again as possible. As for accuracy stats, I have the Curse City area bonuses, so I had enough there. And same for my Teuko, and he's just in stun set with some damage because anything adds up in terms of getting this over and done quickly. Anyway, that's all. See ya.